Hello, today we're sitting here with Tracey Smith, and Tracey is a patient and a supervisor at Lindora, and she has an amazing story about how she's lost some weight, and we want to welcome her today as she shares with us about her journey that she's had. And Tracey, we want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. So if you'd like to go ahead and just share what's happened in your life and how you've come to lose weight that you have.
Absolutely. Well, it's my pleasure to do this. Thank you for asking me to be part of this documentary. I've lost over 325 pounds with the help of Lindora, and I've kept it off now for over 9 years. So I think that's the most important part. Obviously, losing weight is very important for your health. I think maintaining it and keeping it off is something equally as important. Lindora has changed my life. It has given me my life back at a point where I felt so distraught and just that my life was over. I was just thankful to find Lindora to help me regain my life that I lost.
That's an incredible amount of weight that you lost, 325 pounds.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to lose the initial?
The programs here at Lindora are 10 weeks. It's the longest program length. And my first program with Lindora, I lost 65 pounds. I went into a second program and lost another 35. So I lost 100 pounds in about 5 months. When I first started, I would do another program, consecutively back to back, maybe taking a week or so off in between. And within about a year and 3 months or so, I think I lost about 270 pounds. Then I took an entire year off and maintained my body. At that point, I just needed some type of maintenance because I had gone through quite a few programs and I had lost a significant amount of weight. So my body just needed to kind of adjust to what was happening. So I took an entire year off, and then over about another 5 months or so, I lost another 55 pounds and now have kept it off for 9 years. So it's been a journey.
Wow, that is quite a journey. So, you woke up one day and you were, how much did you weigh?
I walked in at 498, so almost 500 pounds.
498 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
What made you come into Lindora? What was the...
It's kind of, it's quite a story actually. I had tried every diet out there in the past. I had, done Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, all types of diets, which I lost weight while I was on their programs, but never really learned how to maintain that weight loss. I never learned what to do after that program was done. So I happened to be at my father's house one day, and we were sitting on his couch, and we were talking, and we had buried my mother probably, about 6 months prior to that. She died of cancer, and we were talking. I was just enjoying a day with my father, and I went to get up off the couch, and I had been sitting there for a little over an hour, so I'm kind of struggling to get myself up off the couch. And he had asked me many times before, Tracey, when are you going to do something about your weight? But this particular day, he looked at me and he had these tears coming out of his eyes, and he just said, I couldn't stand to bury you like we just buried your mother. So I'm the baby of the family, so it was just that particular day that he happened to make this plea to me, to please, help yourself because I couldn't stand to bury you. That, it sank in, and I don't know if it was fate or what it was, but about 2 or 3 commercials later, we saw a commercial for Lindora, and he actually said, why don't you call them? There's the 800 number. Go just check it out. See what Lindora is. If it's something you think you want to do, I'll help you pay for it. So I remember that day calling and making an appointment for the following day, and from that day on, it was just, I knew that it was meant to be. Lindora made sense. It was something I could do for the rest of my life, not just to lose weight, but to become healthy.
What was the key thing about Lindora that made it work for you?
It's real life. It's based on real food. I don't have to depend on somebody's food. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do after the program's done or after my 10 weeks is over. I understand what to do for the rest of my life. I know how to eat healthy, not just to lose weight, but to keep it off. And now I get to sit on this side of the desk and I get to help other people with the same kind of struggles. And it's so fulfilling and motivating to me to be able to turn the tables, so to speak, and talk to somebody who comes in struggling, because I was that person struggling too. And for me to be able to help them is an inspiration to me, more than anybody could ever know.
Did you have to change the way you thought about eating and everything to
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, you have to focus on portion control. You have to focus on clean eating, is what we call it, eating healthy. You know, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, you know, lean meats, salads. It's a matter of choices, and it's a matter of portion control. And once that happens, and once you really understand that and you really grasp that, it's a matter of clean eating, and you feel good. You feel extremely good.
Do they hold you accountable here at Lindora?
Accountable as far as what?
You know, as far as, you know, when you weigh in every week.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
A patient, absolutely. The accountability that you get being on program is phenomenal. If you have a question, if you have any struggles, if there's anything that comes up on a daily, you know, basis within your program, you have your nurses there. You have people there that you could talk to. Then it's the accountability is absolutely phenomenal. The accountability is part of the biggest reason. You are accountable to what you do every day. And when you come into the clinic and you're checking your keto stick and you're doing your weigh-ins, and you have those nurses that are asking you, you know, did you get your steps in? Did you get all your foods in? Did you get your fluids in? Because they know it's important. So the accountability is huge.
All right. Was it hard to make yourself accountable to somebody when you first started?
When I first started, no. I say no because when you start Lindora and you truly give in to changing yourself for the better and changing the way that you look at food and changing your life, you see results from day one. So to be accountable, it's a good thing because you see those results. I mean, you step in, you know, and do your weigh-ins every day, and you're down a pound, you're down 2 pounds. You know, it's that accountability and that, you know, the results that you see that keep you motivated and keep you going. So for me, it was quite easy to be accountable because I saw results from day one, and I was motivated and I was inspired.
Now you've been, that was in '99 that you first came, so you've been in this program for 13
I have.
years. Wow.
I have, yeah.
And now you help other people.
I do. Now I get to help other people. I actually manage 2 clinics, so I don't just live it myself day to day, but I get to see it every day in 2 clinics with patients. So
how does it make you feel when you see somebody doing it, the program and coming through and losing weight?
Oh, it's the most amazing feeling. I mean, I get the, you know, part of the great joy that I get to see is when I sign a patient up and I take their very first picture when they first start, their before picture, and I can see that they're excited but they're scared, and I see the hopefulness in their face and sometimes the sadness in their face when they're taking their before pictures. And then when I get to compare that to their after shot after 10 weeks or after 20 weeks, for me to see that change in just their demeanor, their personality, their confidence, just their health, their body, everything that I get to see a change in is probably the best feeling I could ever feel. It's a motivating feeling, it's an inspiring feeling. I feel just as successful as they do at that point because I was helping them, and my nurses, I know they feel the same way. They truly are amazing, wonderful nurses.
Yeah, you know, you said something in there about fear. What do you think people's greatest fear is when they come in?
Probably the same one that I had when I started. I think that as they're being told about the program and how you know amazing it is and how wonderful it is and how well it works, you have that fear of how is it going to work for me. I know that for myself, I remembered thinking, okay, I have well over 300 pounds to lose. I see, you know, all the testimonials in the book, patients that have lost weight. I see the before and after boards in the clinics, and I think my fear and my question was, okay, the program works, but how's it going to work for me? How am I going to do on it? And I think I see the same fear in my patients that I sign up. But once they get going and they see how much they're down, and just every day they see they're a little bit closer to that goal and a little bit closer to that goal, that fear starts to go away and you see the happiness that they have.
All right, well, it probably brings them a lot of joy to be able to do things like they hadn't been able to do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it did for you. Now, you told me you were an athlete growing up. You played Division I softball and stuff. You know, are you back to doing things like that these days?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I don't play as much softball as I'd like to anymore because I'm busy. But just being able to do things that I hadn't been able to do for quite a long time. You know, and it's small things. It's things, you know, walking without, you know, being out of breath or without being sore on my knees or my feet, or, you know, going to an amusement park and getting on a roller coaster. You know, at my size when I started, I couldn't even bend over to tie my own shoes or put my own socks on. So it's those little things that you kind of take for granted, that you can't, you know, that you do, that once you're not able to do those and then you could do them again, it's you know, it's a great feeling.
Wow. Well, Tracey, we want to thank you for joining us today. Your story is amazing, and it's a wonderful transformation that's happened in you. And people, we just want to encourage you that transformation can happen for anybody that desires to make a change in their life. Just as we've talked about in church, you know, with God, you know, that when we make a change, you know, there should be a noticeable difference, and anybody can do it. So we want to encourage you today, make a change in your life, take a step forward, and allow yourself to be held accountable to change in your life. Thank you again, Tracey. It was great meeting you today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hello, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed that interview with Tracey. What an incredible story of how she lost 325 pounds. We're going to go now to an interview we did with one of the regional managers of Lindora. Her name's Melinda. And I think you'll enjoy this time, and we're glad that you're here with us today. We've been just looking at, you know, different ways to just touch people's lives, but one of the things God's been dealing with is the health of people.
Okay.
Spiritually and physically.
Mm-hmm.
So we're coming at this from a spiritual and physical aspect about getting your health under control.
Okay.
By losing weight, exercise, but also, you know, we're looking at spiritual health, but we're also looking at financial health, relationship health, mental health,
Mm-hmm.
emotional health. So these are the aspects that we're coming in. So you're going to fit into the diet and health category.
Okay, well, I am a believer.
All right.
And I truly, truly, truly believe that with that said, spiritual, mental, and physical health are all connected.
Yes.
It's your general overall sense of well-being. And things that we address here at Lindora that I take very seriously are the mental health aspect of it as well. But when you look in the book, there's daily reading in here, and it's just like 4 or 5 pages at the most of daily reading. And that daily reading helps us to promote that daily mental training. Daily mental training is what's going to help somebody be successful.
So you got to renew your mind.
You absolutely do. It is a total renewal process. And by renewing your mind and doing that daily mental training, you're directing your focus in another place. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's just one of those things that if you can get it right up here, the rest is going to follow.
So as we've been talking, you know, I know there's things, but what will eating right way do for a person?
Eating right is going to improve your physical and mental health. It's also going to decrease your risk for diseases such as cardiac disease, diabetes, stroke. It's also going to decrease the risk of infection. Basically, eating right is going to promote homeostasis. Homeostasis is the body's internal chemistries running at the right balance, improving function.
Wow. When you talked about, there was one word you said in there, I forgot it.
Homeostasis?
No. You talked about infections. What do you mean with infections inside the body?
Inside the body, also, you know, disease processes. So if you, for instance, a patient who's diabetic generally has decreased healing properties, okay? So if you've ever seen a diabetic who maybe has a very ulcerated foot or something like that due to poor circulation, those healing properties, you know, are decreased. People who are, you know, not healthy physically, they are more inclined to get ill.
Okay.
So eating right and having the body functioning properly and optimally is going to significantly decrease your risk of disease as well as infection.
So it's not just about weight loss or weight gain, it's about eating right for maintaining your health.
Absolutely. When you have the proper amount of protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and, you know, the right amount of fat. Everybody needs fat to run as well.
So it's like protein, carbohydrates, and fat.
Mm-hmm.
What does Lindora have a percentage of balance that you like to see happen?
Not a numeric percentage, but we are a high protein, low carbohydrate, low fat type of diet when patients are on weight loss. We're not just a weight loss company, we do weight management as well here. Everything is medically supervised. So we help patients lose their weight rapidly, and then we help them maintain their weight once they've lost it.
People come in all the time here, but what is their biggest excuse for not losing weight?
Oh, there's a few. A lot of patients will say, oh, it's just the way I'm built, it's genetic. I would say to that children learn what they live. And with that said, you may be predisposed to some health conditions, but if everyone in your household is eating a certain way that's going to promote weight gain, that is what you're going to learn and live. People have excuses as far as healthy food is too expensive. If you really look, okay, now let's take that under consideration here. If you take and you go through a drive-through to feed a family of 3, is about $20.
At least.
Okay, do you know how much produce you can buy for $20?
Yes, because I've been buying a lot of produce, and $20 goes a long way.
And do you know that patients who have lower income, I suggest that they go to the 99-cent store to buy produce. They have a whole slew of produce in their section, everything from lettuce and peppers to carrots and cauliflower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we've been buying a lot of vegetables recently, I just found out, wow, you could go a long ways and eat for a few days on $20.
Absolutely. And so some people say, I don't have time, I don't have money. Well, those people who don't have time are usually the ones that are hitting the drive-through, right?
Right, that was me.
Okay, 2-3 times a day, what's that cost you?
Oh, man. I'm getting more money now because, it was $8, $7, $8 every time you hit a drive-through. I'd hit it at lunch, and then I'd hit it on the way home, because I'd get home so late, and then I'd be eating at 10 o'clock at night. And it's like out of control.
How about that $5 coffee?
I don't do that.
But how many people do?
Oh, yeah.
And
With
how
all
much of that coffee is
sugar
loaded with cream and sugar?
Yeah.
Carbohydrates.
So I can't do it. If I'm going to pay it, I'm going to get the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caramel macchiato with
There you
the
go.
caramel, the cream.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It is insane.
Yeah, what we do to ourselves. So, many factors. You talked about homeostasis in there, but what is the key, do you think, to losing weight?
I think the key to losing weight is getting it right up here.
Okay.
Here at Lindora, we promote daily mental training. We also promote daily action planning. So we ask our patients to do reading in our Lean for Life book, as well as plan their meals in advance. And if you have a plan of action, it's a lot easier to follow than to just sort of go off the cuff,
Well, they say if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail.
Exactly. So getting it right up here, daily action planning, daily mental training, resetting that mindset.
Mindset's got to change. Same way in the church, we have to renew our mind daily. And I know that if we can renew our mind with what it comes to eating, then we're going to see a big difference in our own health.
In our body.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what kind of goals do you help people set for themselves when it comes to maintaining their health or losing weight?
Both long-term and short-term goals. We have different lengths of programs here at Lindora. So say a patient comes in and they need to lose 100 pounds. 100 pounds of weight loss may take them, say 4 of our 10-week programs. So we set a long-term goal as to what that healthy BMI should be, the body mass index. And once we get to establishing that goal, then we work in smaller increments to get and reach that goal.
Okay. People come in, that ladies, guys, whatever, do they come in and say, I was 110 pounds out of high school and I want to get back to that? How realistic is that for people most of the time?
Well, that 110 pounds may very well be realistic.
Yeah?
Absolutely. And we may get down to that 110 pounds and they may say, oh, I feel too thin. But basically what we try to do is base that goal weight on the body mass index.
Okay.
So body mass index of 25 or greater puts you at increased risk for diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. A body mass index of 25 and below is going to decrease that risk. Ideally, we'd like to see patients settle in at a BMI of about 22 or 23. That's pretty realistic.
How do you check your BMI?
Well, we have a calculation in the computer, and you plug in your height and your weight. We do actually have a table in our book, if you want me to share that with you.
Sure.
Sure. Okay, so the body mass index is a calculation
Wait, hold
here.
it up for the people to see.
Okay, so how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay, so 5'10", 60 inches is 5 feet. So it's gonna put you at 70 inches, and a BMI for you of about 22 or 23 would be around 160 pounds.
That's what I should weigh.
Realistically,
160 pounds.
How about 5'8"?
okay,
About
so
151 pounds.
so 5 feet is 60 inches, so 68 inches. A BMI of 23 is going to be about 150 pounds.
I feel like I'd be dusting.
What? 150 pounds?
Yeah.
That's me?
Yeah.
That's you.
150?
For myself, a BMI of 22 would take me to about 132, 135 pounds, which is right where my goal weight is.
Okay. Wow. I have a long ways to go.
But you know, you can get there.
Yeah. No, that's my goal. to
I've
get there.
lost 70 pounds in the last 2 years, and I have 30 more to go.
Great. Well, my goal is to. I started at 254. I want to be under 200 at the end of the year.
There you go.
So my wife's been helping me, to eat right the way you've talked about in the book there.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's getting me on track with that. Because like you said, we don't make time. We haven't had a plan. I haven't had a plan. It's just like everything around our life is like, well, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't do any of that stuff. But food you can't go without.
Right?
So everybody's got to eat. And so it's just making a plan for how we eat.
Absolutely, and food is a necessity.
How much does the average person lose a week here at Lindora?
Anywhere between 2 and 5 pounds, and there's a lot of things that factor into that. Their diligence and compliance with their program, their level of exercise, how much they weigh, coming into things. Generally, what we say is that a patient's going to lose a minimum of 10% of their body weight in a 10-week program if they follow along with the program and are compliant.
10%. That's a good goal.
A minimum.
Yeah. Well, minimum or what? That's just depends on how heavy you are, but even 10%, is
Exactly.
So even when we're doing our Biggest Loser, we're not going to do it on pounds. We're going to do it on percentage of body weight.
Right,
The
because
highest percentage of loser is going to win the prize,
right.
which is going to be a $500 gift card.
Nice to wear.
To wherever they want.
Nice.
Probably just a Visa card.
Okay.
So that's the grand prize for the winner. So I want to encourage you to keep doing your best with this right now. There's many fad diets out there, and what is a big no? What is a big no-no when it comes to dieting?
Thinking that there's a quick fix.
Okay, it's long term,
Absolutely.
steady.
We teach our patients here at Lindora to be lean for life. That is our first essential in our program.
Right, not to put it back on.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
By doing that daily mental training, you're setting yourself up for learning to be lean for life.
Okay, so you do the 10-week program. How do you teach them to maintain?
Once they've lost weight for a period of time, which is reviewed, at each visit by the nursing staff, depending on what their goals are, they may do a 10-week program followed by a second 10-week program. A patient may do just one 10-week program and reach their weight loss goal. It just depends on where the goal is. So after a period of time of losing weight, we will put a patient into what's called metabolic adjustment, where we're going to adjust their metabolism to the weight that they've lost by increasing their portions and adding back foods.
That doesn't cause them to go up. It just Level
No, they
off?
usually maintain within 1.5 pounds of their ending weight loss weight.
Okay.
And we monitor that process very closely. And then once a patient has reached their weight loss goal and they're just going to maintain the weight they've lost, we ask them to continue to come into the clinic. If there is any slight, gain in weight, we are going to help them get it right back off again.
Wow, that's great. We want to thank you for spending time with us today and giving us insight on this, because I know it's a tough thing. And here in California, we see a lot of heavy people, so we need to get in shape, people.
Absolutely.
And we want to thank Melinda for being with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wow, we just got done watching that video with Melinda. They're doing a great job at Lindora, and they have, opportunities for you if you wanted to get involved in that. But I just want to tell you this, when it comes to our diet, what we take in is what we become. And it's the same thing with not only food, but our spirit. Whatever you're feeding your spirit, and your soul, your mind, is what you're going to become. Now, if you're filling it with junk, you're going to get junky. It's just like when we're eating junk food, we get fat. But in our spirit, man, we want it to grow. So I want you to just remember that we need to get the word in us daily. We need to spend time with the Father in prayer, and we need to worship Him. It's got to become an essential part of our diet for living, is that we read the Word, we pray, and we worship the Lord. It is going to help us to grow in our spirit, soul, and body as we bring our body under subjection to the Word of the Lord, and we get things straight with our physicalness, and we exercise the fruit of the Spirit, which is self-control, over our lives. And we're going to see a transformation take place in our lives, because as we get that self-control working in us, we're going to see our lives be transformed. Now, when I started juicing and losing weight, I did it because I knew I needed to lose weight. But I found that the benefit of, as I was doing that and exercising self-control, that my spirit, man, just began to soar and begin to grow. And I began to hear things more clear, even from the Lord. So I want to encourage you today. We spent a lot of time talking about our diet and how we should eat and the benefit of it physically. But I want you to know it's going to bring a spiritual benefit to you, because your spirit's going to soar as you exercise that fruit of the Spirit. And so, beloved, I pray that you prosper in all things and in health, just as your soul prospers. God bless you.